Okay, so today I feel like we're gonna learn about how the Philippines kind of saved a man's life, or at the very least made it 1,000 times, 1,000 folds better. Let me read you the title of this video. From homeless in America, I mean, no one's definition of happiness is being homeless, right? To living like a king in the Philippines. To be honest with you guys, it feels like the title is a little clickbaity to me, and that is why it drew my attention, okay? And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I want to know about this, and I feel like it would be a good thing to watch it with you guys, you know? If you are new to the channel, welcome! Maligayang pagbabalik sa akin channel. Ako po si Ovela. I'm a sound engineer, beat maker, and content creator on YouTube. And with that being said, let's check it out.
The passport, bros, you can't force that American lifestyle here. Prior to coming out here, I was actually homeless.
So where are you from?
America.
What brings you down here to the Philippines?
Really just everything that was going on in America. It wasn't necessarily the Philippines. I originally left America, I was going to travel some countries, but I have some disability comprehension issues, dyslexia and stuff like that, and I couldn't figure out. I was going to go to Africa first and travel around to some countries, but I couldn't figure out some of the stuff, and I couldn't get a hold of the embassy, and there was like some scams and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I had heard about the Philippines, and I did some research on YouTube and such like that, and it's free visa upon entry, so it's easier to understand than that. Can't get scammed on that.
It's true, it is free visa upon entry, meaning that I do not have to ask for a visa and pay for a visa, you know. As a Canadian, he's American, so I'm assuming it's the same thing for them. So I think I'm allowed to stay in the Philippines for 30 days, you know, with just my Canadian visa. But thanks to you guys, because y'all know that I'm coming to the Philippines in May, you told me that I also have to fill out an form, you know, that I have to fill out that form so that when I get to the airport, I won't have any issues. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Like an e-travel form.
You know, I was just traveling the world, really. I was traveling, you know, to countries where the dollar stretched further,
Of course.
make my disability money stretch further. But really past that, when I first got here, I was just wanted to see every country I went to. I just wanted to see the people, the customs, you know, learn to laugh at a local joke, you know. Maybe learn a little bit of the language. But the Philippines, you know, they have like the 7,000 islands and all the different languages. So, you know, you can't really learn everything. But
at least Tagalog.
You speak English, which helps, right? So
yeah. Well, I was surprised when I got here that how many signs were in English, you know, and I was like, okay, why is it? Then I learned that, you know, their official language is, business language is English. Past that, you know, what surprised me was just the humbleness of the people. You know, they get up early in the morning. Somebody's, you know, entrepreneurship everywhere. Somebody's cooking something, delivering something, giving a ride, going to work. You know,
is this your first time to the Philippines?
yeah, this is my first time in the Philippines, my first time out of America.
Okay.
How long has he been staying there?
I definitely feel safer here than America. You know.
What?
Like one of my family members, they're like, oh, you know, the Philippines, you kind of get those different things where, you know, as far as leaving the United States.
Yeah.
But I don't feel stressed here. Don't feel, you know, You know, like I mean, don't get me wrong, nothing happened to me like that in the United States, but you know, there's shootings everywhere. You know, some of the locals, they talk to me about, you know, the some of
The political stuff and
the political stuff, yeah, but they talk to me about the way they feel. Maybe it's not as affluent.
Okay.
And they talk about like some of the jobs and what they pay and things like that. I still believe it's better than, you know, trying to go to America.
Yeah.
But I try to tell them, well, America just shows you what they want you to see. You know what I'm saying? You don't see how many, you know, the homelessness, you know, people that are strung out on drugs and things like that. You know, I'm not trying to get, you know, Americans to bash me, but you know, you can't just deny it.
In my opinion, Canada is doing better than the US, you know, in general. I feel like we have a healthier lifestyle here. The health system over here is also better. But we also have a drug problem, especially on the west coast of Canada. I heard that Vancouver is plagued with it. You know, a lot of people are druggies, and there's like this new drug that makes them act like real life zombies. You know, it's scary.
Can't deny it.
Yeah,
know?
there's good and bad in every country. And
right, you know, and then you know, the crime, you know, you don't.
I mean, I know that the Philippines also has its fair share of drug problem, even if, you know, former President Duterte tried to fix that, you know.
Hear about, you know, gunshots or people getting jacked. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure
There
things do happen here.
yeah.
Just like you're in America, you know, you do want to have your situational awareness. You don't want to go places and do certain things where, you know, you probably shouldn't go and do. You know, definitely the food. Definitely the food is definitely better. Not processed.
I can't
not
wait
out of the
to
box.
eat
It's fresh, you know, clean.
in the Philippines.
I will say that I heard it before, and I can confirm now that the American products do taste different.
And just so you know, I know that pancit is not like the fanciest or even the most liked Filipino dish, but it's my favorite, okay? So I want to eat pancit in the Philippines.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, outside of America.
So how long have you been here?
There you go.
I've been here since November.
Okay, so you've been for a couple months at least.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've been here
that's
since
fresh.
November. And I'll be here a little bit.
That
while
is very
longer.
fresh.
I'm actually gonna be going back and grabbing my stuff, you
Oh.
know, and making plans to pretty much move on.
Nice.
Okay, so you're gonna be here permanently, hopefully, at least long stay at least.
Well, because the thing about here compared to, I mean, you can't deny the dollar stretching is a benefit, especially to my, you know, disability dollars.
Okay.
Well, one thing I will say, you gotta excuse me, my stuff.
No, you're doing really well. Actually, I was expecting this to be like 30 seconds or a minute, but you got a lot of information, and I'm excited to hear about it. So you get a lot more for your buck over here for sure. You told me a lot of stuff that you do like. Is there something maybe you dislike so far or you don't like?
He's scratching his head trying to find something negative to say about the Philippines.
I won't say that I won't say that it's a dislike. However, it is something to get
The
used to.
heat?
Like the first time I went to Vegas, like walking on the strip.
Yep.
You know, it was my first time
Is
in
it the
Vegas, and people just like run into you, you know, and such like that. Well, I do like here how, you know, they have like the lines for the elders and the disabled people and things
that's
like that.
nice.
You know,
Respectful.
for Filipino disabled people and stuff like that. But like when you're walking, like I'll move to the side for an elder.
Yeah.
You know, so they can walk by, and here comes this youngster, just like they
through?
they don't see they don't see that person, and they just like walk through them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But you do have to do a little bit of defensive walking. You know,
Okay.
just like with the driving.
I was
you know,
gonna
you
say,
definitely want to
yeah.
be aware of things. But honestly, I really can't say too much of what I don't like. You know, what I would say for anybody trying to come here or just leaving the United States, the thing about it is that what you have to understand is that I would recommend not even making your cup half full.
Okay.
I would recommend just pouring out the whole cup.
I see.
You know, realize when you come to another country, you're not in America. You know, you have to learn the local customs. I mean, yeah, you might be in America, you might have your way of things, but be slow. You know, be open to learning new things,
the culture, the
life.
traditions.
Definitely do your research before you come, things like that. And I would say it would be worth it if you are able to be humble,
okay,
and see the beauty in simple things. You know.
Speaking of beauty, are you meeting any?
See what he just said? Find the beauty in the simple things. That speaks to me, you know. The way he is describing the Philippines, it really sounds like it's a country that is tailor-made for me. I know that when I'm gonna go to the Philippines and experience it and then come back here to Canada, I'm gonna miss it like crazy, which is why I already know that I will be going back to the Philippines, perhaps each year, you know, every year. It feels like it's a country where I can easily live in the Philippines, in my opinion, even though I still haven't, you know, been there yet. I'm going in a few weeks. So it's, yeah.
Over here, are you dating any Filipinas? What's going on over there?
You know, prior to leaving the United States, I was one of the guys, you know, I'm one of the guys that are considered, you know, the nice guy, you know, and you know, for the majority of what it seems like, you know, women, like, you know, they don't want nice guys. You know, they say they want nice guys, but nice guys are boring. They're lame. You know, we don't have the excitement of cheating and you run in the streets and don't come home and stuff like that, you know. And so when I first came here, you know, I wasn't on any dating apps or anything like that, dating sites or anything like that. And I wasn't really, it wasn't like I was opposed to dating, but it wasn't on my radar. I was just really traveling around a different, when I first got here, I was just going to come here for maybe like a month or two, and then maybe go to Vietnam, Singapore, you know, Thailand, things like that, and just kind of travel around and look at different countries. However, like, my asthma improved when I got here.
Oh, nice.
Versus using my medicine every day, all day, I use it maybe once a month now.
Okay.
I have some disabilities in my torso and such, for my muscles and such. That's what you kind of see. That's been a reduction versus everyday in America.
Okay.
Nice.
But one thing that I was definitely would say, like, I was prepared for a lot. Like when I was going to Africa, doing my research, and already, you know, being in America for decades, I've watched foreign movies and things like that. So I already kind of feel like I was cultured to an extent of different ways of life around the world. But like one thing in Africa, you know, they have the, like how they have the CR here, where they use the, what we call the bidet, and make it seem like a.
See, I did not know that in the Philippines they called the toilet, you know, the bathroom, the CR. So comfort room. I had no idea until I asked the Filipinos, you know. I was like, someone wrote to me CR, and I'm like, what the hell is CR? They were like, comfort room. They told me that's how they described the bathroom. All right, so now I know when I go to the Philippines and someone is like, oh, can you give me a minute? I'm just going to go to the CR. Now I know what the CR is.
So expensive in America. It's just the water wand, you know, just, you know.
Yeah, the,
like,
the hose, right? You go wash
the
hose.
You don't have that, you know, you have the bucket of water, you know. So I was prepared for that.
The bucket of water in the Philippines is called tabo, right? Yes, tabo. Yeah, when I was a kid, that's what we used to use. Either a tabo or just a bottle of water, you know. But now they have the hose that is hooked to the toilet, you know. And there's water that just comes out of it, and you just press, and there's like pressure, and you can clean your booty hole, just like they said here. Yep.
In Africa. So when I came here, it was no different. Just like the same way in Africa, you know, they, you know, or a lot of other places they eat with their hands. You know, here they, you know, they eat with their hands.
So
you
it
know?
seemed like you really like acclimated well to the, you know, the weather. I assume is not an issue for you.
Well, because of my disability, I can't be here in the heat too long.
There you go.
I will say that when you come, you know, you do have to get used to the weather. You know, so maybe if you're not somebody who likes to be in the heat, maybe start off with a few walks. Then maybe the next day take a little bit longer walk, you know, but make sure you drink lots of water. Don't put yourself in a situation.
See, it's because of the heat that my brother, my friend, and I decided not to go to the Philippines during the month of Ramadan, okay? Because not being able to drink in a country that is as warm and hot as the Philippines, it's too much. It's too much. I mean, I have gone through that experience in Algeria, because in Algeria also during summertime it's so hot, and even in Canada, you know. And I've done Ramadan during like heat waves, and it's so difficult. So I was like, you know what? As soon as Ramadan is done, which is like what, in a week approximately, we're gonna go. Yeah. So when I go to the Philippines, I'll be able to eat, you know, and drink and everything. So we'll be okay.
Where you're kind of stuck outside, you know, or make sure you seek somewhere where they have the air conditioning. But one thing I will definitely say that caught me off guard is the women.
The what?
I will say that
spill the beans.
The women?
Know everything.
I definitely will spill the beans. I will definitely spill the beans.
Okay, what's up?
You know, coming from America, and I'm not saying, you know, all women, but I will say that us guys, we're not asking for all the extra hair and extensions and weaves and things like that, all the bat eyelashes.
Thank you.
All the
Oh my God, if I had a podcast, okay, that would be like one of the topics that I would like to talk about, you know. But I mean, even in the Philippines, women tend to put a lot of makeup on, right? I just don't understand why women want to put so much makeup, but also put like the long ass eyelashes, the long nails and everything. I mean, are men asking that from the women? Do they want them to do all that? Because all the men that I have personally asked the question to, do you find that attractive in a woman, in a woman, you know, the long eyelashes, tons of makeup, long fingernails, like fake extension hair? No, they all said no. So I don't get it, man.
Plethora of makeup stacked on top of each other, to the point where, you know, there's comedians that are making jokes now when they take it all off. It's
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Like
yeah,
identity theft. Like where did that chick go?
Yeah.
You know, no good man, in my opinion, you know, that wants if he's a good guy, you know what I'm saying, he's not running the streets, he's not dating multiple females, things like that. No good guy wants his woman, you know what I'm saying, walking outside showing her goodies, all like that, whether if he's fully saying it like that or not, you know what I'm saying.
I understand.
And when I got here, you know, women, they have their natural beauty.
I mean, it's great. Even like, I personally would love it if my woman, you know, dresses nicely and wants to look attractive, even outside, you know, as long as it's not like overexposure, you know what I'm saying? And personally, for me, I want her to be natural, like completely just natural. And I'm not saying naked because, you know, but, you know, dressed, but like on her face and everything, natural. Like my ex that you guys know, Angel, right? She's a woman that I stayed with for like an entire decade. And I always appreciated the fact that she almost never wore makeup. Never. And I always thought that she looked beautiful without makeup. I don't know.
They smile, you know. And my thing is that, you know, if you're a man, you don't give a woman a reason to be upset. You know, it's kind of like how Bruno Mars made that song, you know, put a perm on your attitude or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you get all dressed up, looking cute and all that. You go to the club and sitting there just to be mean, look mean.
Yeah, you're right.
For what? You know
What's
what
the
saying?
point?
Out here, you know, you run into natural beauty, smile, easy going.
Nice.
Yeah, you might have to, you know, bob and weave to watch out for some, you know, to make sure you get a, you know, a nice one, just like anywhere else.
Yeah. Would you say they're more approachable in the Philippines, a woman?
Yeah, I would say they're more approachable, more natural. Yeah, definitely more natural.
They're probably kinder.
You know, and you know, all around just kind of more more wholesome in my opinion.
Yeah,
when
that's a good
came
word.
out, like this mall here is the first one. Cebu is the first one I came to in November. And what I immediately noticed was that when I saw moms with their kids, or even just women, they look appropriate. You know what I'm saying? They're covered. And women, they in their dresses. Like it's not just all these tight black dresses and see-through. I mean, they're just nice dresses.
Leggings,
nice,
no leggings.
Sundresses or flowing dresses, things like that. But again, the women. Yeah, I definitely see now where, the passport bros, if that's what they want to say in that community.
Yeah.
So the passport bros, for those of you who don't know, and if I remember it correctly, are Black American men, so African American men who are fed up with the mentality of American women, okay? So they, travel to the Philippines or Southeast Asian countries to, date Southeast Asian women who have, like kind of the opposite mentality of American women,
That they've been talking about, just, leaving the attitudes and all the extra stuff alone.
Yeah, that attitude.
In America and going to other countries where women are still used to wanting a man, not from a country where, you run into a lot of, I don't need a man, you know what I mean? A lot of people, or I would say a lot of women didn't like Kevin Samuels.
Oh, rest in peace, right?
Yeah, Kevin Samuels, the GOAT.
I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, he definitely came out talking about men first, and he was like, focus on yourself. If you're, but everybody wasn't in an uproar about that. When he started talking about, women and body proportions and size and what you bring to the table and things like that, now he's like the the devil,
right?
you know what I mean, to some women that were just trying to tear him down, but the things he was saying was real, Now you get more and more women asking why, like I was watching this video on Facebook earlier, women asking why are men basically saying no to dating, you know what I'm saying, just checking out of dating, you know what I'm saying. And this other guy, he answered, he was like, well, we've been telling you, well, let me just tell you straight, you know what I'm saying. He wasn't trying to be mean, but he was like, he was being blunt. And it's like this other thing where I forget who said it, but it's like if a man hires a maid and hires a prostitute, why does he need you as a woman?
Yeah.
Like what do you, and that's what, and it's not necessarily that men will hire a prostitute, but it's a point being made there. You know what I'm saying?
But you need to bring more than just your physical self.
Right, we want peace, we want loyalty, we want respect, you know what I mean? It's such like that, and here.
Damn, that saying is kind of reducing women to maids and prostitutes. That's not good. That's really not good.
When like I said, when I first noticed this is that, women are covered. When I see moms with their kids, they look like moms, Not saying that they don't look sexy or anything like that, if that's what they have on, but they're clothed.
Traditional.
When I see a grandmother with their family, she looks like a grandmother, you know what I'm saying? Go to the club, I don't see the daughter generation, the mom generation, the grandma generation, all in the club, let alone not having clothes on, you know what I mean? They're clothed, and all of them partying, hanging out, you know what I'm saying, in the same group going after the same men, you know what I'm saying? Another thing, they just had the Sinaloa holiday, and it was like everybody was into it, like we don't really have that religious base in America like that anymore. I don't really feel like America is built for relationships. It's supporting like family,
It's just hookups, man.
I see it out here, Yeah, I hear about certain things and, everywhere, people cheating and things like that. But I think that if we had some of the things that they have here in America, such as once you get married, you're married.
Yeah.
There's really not a thing of divorce here. To get divorced here, you got to have $1 million pesos. So if in America we had a law because with the money conversion, if we had a law where once you get married, you're married, unless you got to pay that person $250,000. A lot of more people will be more selective and in depth about who they choose to marry.
This guy is wise, man.
They also have the law that if you cheat when you're married, the spouse and the person that's cheating with the spouse, you can call the police on them. It's a crime. If we had that in America, things would be a lot different, because when a family breaks up from that, it's more than just the two people that break up or get a divorce. The kids are affected, and it does a ripple effect, and it does really long-term type damage, you know. I was also surprised about, you know, when you go into the stores and things like that, you know, like I have this bag, you have to open your bag, and you know they look in your bag, or if they can tell that this is a, you know, a bag for like my wallet and such like that. But if you have extra bags and things like that, you got to check them in at the check-in counter. You know,
really?
There's guards posted everywhere in all the stores and stuff like that.
Really?
I think
I didn't know that.
In America, there wouldn't be these flash mobs of 50, 60 people running into Nike, grabbing a bunch of stuff and running out. You know what I'm saying? Or people going in with a backpack stealing, you know, 10 bottles of liquor and things like that. You know, driving cost up and such like that. You know.
Yeah.
I would also say. Also, the thing that surprised me was how we are being raked over the coals.
I am surprised at how comfortable this guy is with the person that's interviewing him, you know, because I'm pretty sure that they don't even know each other. And yet, you know, he's a stranger who, you know, decided to share all about what he learned, all his experiences about the Philippines with this guy for almost 30 minutes. I love it. Although I don't feel like the title of this video is correct, because he's not really telling us how the Philippines really made his life better. You know, like he's just saying what he is telling us about what he observed and noticed while living in the Philippines, but he's not really sharing how the Philippines made his life better, you know? Like in the title they're saying homeless. He should explain how he became homeless in the US and what's his current living situation in the Philippines, right? I hope he does it at the end.
With more than like you have to come here and experience it for yourself to see, but some of the American products, they just don't have to cost that much, you know. There are certain, you know, products that once you start seeing, it just doesn't, they just don't cost that much. So I will also say this, when I did research before I came here, there were people saying, oh, you can come here and live off $500 a month. Or you can come here $800 a month, all the way up to $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know, in my opinion, you know, if anybody is coming here paying $3,000 a month to be in the Philippines,
he's being ripped off.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me, why is that crazy? What do you mean?
Well, for instance, I can go to Tiktilao, if I might say this wrong, but Tiktilao, get a quarter chicken, a breast and a wing with some rice for 130 pesos. You know.
What's the equivalent in US?
Over $2, right?
$2?
Yeah, just over $2. You know, very, very filling, very tasteful, you know, rotisserie chicken. I went to Chowking earlier today and I got sweet and sour chicken, it's crispy chicken, and a thing of rice with a soda for 169 pesos. That's just it's just over $3.
Amazing, amazing.
So if you're a person that comes here and you're trying to live like, and this is the thing too.
Here, for what he said, you know, the one where he paid $2, here you would have to pay, I think, at least 11 Canadian dollars for that. It's crazy.
Don't come here and try to live like an American. You know, adapt. Adapt 3 times. Thing I was hearing before I came here, oh, I don't like the Filipino food this. Oh, I don't like the Filipino food that. And I'm really wondering now why, because all I eat now is Filipino food.
Yeah.
Even in America, nobody likes all American cuisine. Find what you do like. Try things out.
Yeah.
Especially with the currency exchange. Like
you can make an error and have a second meal.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's not like you're paying $20 a meal like in America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and but you know, the just I would just say, yeah, for people just to be open, and just enjoy the experience. You know. But
So life's good for you here in the Philippines, huh?
It is, you know, but you have to be humble. You can't come here and, again, like I said, be wanting to be an American, and then, for instance, they say, well, you know, when you get a Filipino girlfriend, you know, that drives your cost up. Well, the only way I can see that, especially paying $3,000 a month, is if you living like an American here, and then you get a Filipino girlfriend, especially that's never been to America, but you're also giving her that American lifestyle here in the Philippines.
You're essentially paying for the cost of living of two people at that point, right? So,
well, see, that's what I'm saying though.
You shouldn't be doing it.
Even if you get a Filipino girlfriend, I don't think that's the problem. You know, I think it's the mentality of the person. You know, like I have a Filipino fiance now. You know? Yeah, because like, you know, like again, Kevin Samuels, the GOAT, you know, he was right. You know, like he would try to tell certain women when he talked to them, oh, you've been engaged for 4 years. Oh, you guys been boyfriend and girlfriend for 7 years. And he's like, well, you know, it's not ready. It's not happening. You know. Yeah. He said that basically it takes about 6 months to a year for a guy to decide, you know, if he's serious, if he's gonna marry this woman. You know. Okay. What I have now is that instead of having a woman that wants to spend money, she looks to save money. You know, she doesn't want a wash machine. She washes our clothes by hand. You know, and at that, she works a full-time job, bro. You know what I'm saying? She'll get up before work. She'll make us some breakfast. You know, make the bed and such like
Filipinas are hardworking women.
Now, don't get me wrong. I take good care of my household as a man. You know what I'm saying? Providing, you know, protecting everything. But I let her do her woman thing. You know. At first, I'm kind of like, you know, but again, not being in America, being in the Philippines,
adapt.
You know, you can't force that American lifestyle here. And again,
I really thought he was going to use the word adapt again.
She wants to do a woman thing. I'm gonna let her do it. But when you, like, even before I left America, like I would tell people, like, there's women in Africa and other places around the world that will wash their man's feet. You're not even just cook and clean for him, you know. And you know, my old lady, she'll wash my whole body in the shower. You know what I'm saying? You know, I go down to tie one of my shoes, she'll tie the other one. You know, I go to clip my fingernails, she'll clip them for me.
That's a devoted like girlfriend for now, or fiance.
Right, you know, again, you know, she tries to, you know, definitely save money versus spending money. You know, cooks food from scratch. You know, I eat the tion and the mungos a lot because my digestion is messed up. So yeah, she'll go over to the market and make me dinner.
Wow!
From scratch.
Congrats! I'm happy for him, man.
That's all she cooks me is food from scratch.
Is there a large age gap between you guys?
There is. She was the second Filipino that I started dating. But I will go back to Kevin Samuels. He was saying that well, there's 19 years between us.
Oh.
So when I first started looking on the dating sites, I put my range from 25 to 35.
I hope he's over 40 years old, or at least over 37 years old. Okay, god damn, 19. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Because I do plan on having more kids. And going back to Kevin Samuels' content, and he was talking about having, you know, kids and such like that with women in their ages and such like that. Even though I did put 35, that's really on the back end, because he was talking about geriatric pregnancy with women. And when he's talking about this with women who are open to it and they're, you know, they're not the ones that are disgruntled, but they're open-minded. Yeah, they're being honest and saying that, yeah, you know, once you get past about 30-ish into 35 especially, it is high risk. You know, not saying that women can't have healthy babies and things like that, but it's just more of a high risk. So, you know, when you go to for instance, the casino, you know what I mean, or like how Kevin Samuels said, you know, instead of going off possibility, go off probability. You know, you're gonna play the slots with the higher probability of you winning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can go over here and play the 10%er, but if over here you got a 40%er, I mean, honestly, which one you gonna put your money in? You know, and you know, it just so happened that you know, she's 25, she's about to be she's about to be 26.
Okay. Wow.
And, you know, we just.
All right, so he's around what, 44 years old, something like that. And he said he's planning on having more kids, right? I heard him right? Meaning that he already has kids, perhaps in the US. So he's planning on having kids now in the Philippines with a Filipina. Okay, wow.
You know, we just clicked, you know, in a lot of areas. you know, you definitely over here, you definitely don't run into the, you know, I'm tired and different things like that. Right. When you know, when it's time to go get to the boom boom room. You know, but yeah, like I said, you know,
oh my God! Did he just say that? Did he just say that? Plus, he camouflaged the subject really well. He said, you definitely don't get the tired thing when you go to the boom boom room. That's what he called it. So basically, having sex. Okay, so Filipinas will do it no matter what. Good to know.
she'll get off work, come home, cook, clean from scratch.
Wow.
You know, mop the floor, you know, do the whole shebang, you know what I mean? And, you know, we'll sit down for a little bit, and, you know, and such like that. And then, yeah, you know,
That's good, man.
yeah, you know, I mean, compared to what I was dealing with in the States, because after the pandemic, I was actually forced out of my place.
Oh,
so
there we go.
Prior to coming out here, I was actually homeless for like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I had my stuff in storage. And then in February, I got a place, a room to rent for like $800.
So you went from being homeless in America to living like a king in the Philippines, essentially.
Well, yeah, that was.
Okay, so there's the sentence. There is the title of this video. And now I understand better the homeless part. He just said it because he was forced out of his place and was homeless for 2 years. He said he put his stuff in a storage room, and I guess he was living from couch to couch or something like that, right? Or perhaps even outside. And then now that he's in the Philippines, he has a place, he has a fiance that he takes care of, and that she takes care of him in return. So I guess king doesn't mean you're living a lavish lifestyle, you know, like a prince or like a king, but it's more like mentally, like you're living a healthy lifestyle. Okay, now I get it.
So I was homeless at first. I got pushed out of my place because the rents went up too high compared to my disability income. And then
that's so sad.
I did find a room to rent for $800 a month. But then at that, it's like, okay, well, if you do find a good woman, now I have 3 other male roommates, and you know, you would think at that point, okay, well, let's have a bachelor pad, let's keep it cool, let's smell nice and certain things. But you know, when you got roommates that don't wash their dishes for like 2 weeks, and you know, stuff is, you know, it's like you already got to deal with, okay, well, I don't have the typical job being a disabled guy that I got roommates, and you know, and women typically don't, you know what I mean?
Of course, of course.
But now, yeah, you know, the place I have now, I went from you know, renting a room for $800 to I have a 3-bedroom for $400.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
He said 4 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms for $400 in the Philippines. That's incredible. What a deal.
And even going back to the cost of living, if you're single and you come here, you can definitely do $500 a month. Okay. What you do is you get you a hostel, you know, but again, you know, you have to be willing to let go of certain comforts.
Obviously.
Because honestly, if you're single like that, you don't really need a full place like that to yourself. Yeah. But if you do choose to go ahead and find a room to rent by yourself, you know what I'm saying, I would probably say at least start in the hostel and find something reasonable. You know, take time, find something reasonable, because there are places out there. I would say that don't befriend people too fast, because you know, you might end up, you know, getting scammed.
Yeah.
But when I was in the hostel, I was in a 6 split, and it was running me $135 a month for a 6 split.
That's awesome.
And then right outside of the hostel, the lady that was making the utan and the fried fish in the morning, it was 10 pesos a serving for the utan, so I would get 2 servings of that. The fish was 30 pesos, so I would get like 2 or 3, you know. So it's only running me like $2-3 in the morning to eat. I would go over to Tiktal for dinner, lunch, probably sometimes dinner. And yeah, you know, cost of living was easily, you know, only running maybe like $400 or $500 a month.
Well, it's a fascinating story, man. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And all the best with your future wife and your future life.
Thank you, bro.
Of course. Thank you so much. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of his story and his experience. It shows you that, once again, it comes down to perspective and depending on your own personal experience here in the Philippines. Of course, for him, things have worked out really well. I'm happy that he met somebody he completely trusts and it's taking good care of him, and it shows you that you don't need like 3K a month to live a comfortable life. I mean, he's single, he's got like a girlfriend, fiance that likes to eat at home, so it seems like he doesn't live within the city itself, so it's going to reduce some of his costs. And that's it. So leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think of his story, anything you want to share, if you take your time to write.
Yeah, this is not the first time that I react to one of his videos. This was very, very interesting. To be honest, I was afraid that his story would be sad, but the way he told it to us, it felt more like a feel-good story, you know, like he didn't really focus on the negatives, because he could have said like terrible things about the US, you know, like he said a few bad things, but it wasn't too much, right? But he really focused on how the Philippines changed his life, and it was lovely, seriously. And even though he said he was disabled, I thought he expressed himself really well. Yes, we saw him like have like some type of I don't know, what do you call it, like a tick, you know, like he would like kind of like muscle issues perhaps, you know, that he had, but it wasn't that often. And he seemed like a nice guy with a good head on his shoulders, and I'm really happy for him, man. And it feels like, from what I heard, that this guy is definitely gonna remain in the Philippines, you know. I mean, why not? Why not, if you're having a peaceful life there, you know? Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on everything that we just heard. Are there any other YouTube videos that are similar to this one, where you know, foreigners or even Filipinos, you know, it would be nice to hear the side of Filipinos, like a Filipino or Filipina that's been living in the Philippines their entire life, and who perhaps, you know, traveled and lived also elsewhere, you know, outside of the Philippines, but then decided to go back to the Philippines because life in the Philippines is more enjoyable, more comfortable. If there are any videos like that on YouTube, don't hesitate to send them to me. I'd be curious to perhaps react to them. So, maraming salamat po, and of course, if you found value in this video, do not hesitate to check out my other reaction videos right here.